Tonight, we are live from Paris as track, basketball, and breaking take center stage at the Summer Games. But first, we're following breaking news back in the U.S. A dangerous storm barreling through the Northeast. The flash flood emergency, rushing waters, submerging neighborhoods in Pennsylvania, evacuations underway in New York. Firefighters even getting trapped trying to rescue people. The tornado threat stretching from Philadelphia to Massachusetts. The major travel delays as remnants from Tropical Storm Debby march up the coast. Bill Karen standing by to time it all out. Also tonight, a passenger plane carrying dozens free-falling and crashing in Brazil. The terrifying video as the aircraft erupts into flames. The airline confirming there were no survivors. What we're learning about the moments before the plane went down. New surveillance video of the deputy arrested in connection to the shooting death of Sonya Massey. Massey, who was shot and killed in her home after calling 911 to report a prowler. What that officer's recorded comments from behind bars reveals, and the breaking details as the sheriff of the department announces he's retiring after pressure to resign. Pulled from the flames, the dramatic rescue as first responders raced towards a burning house, how everyone was able to get out alive. Dash for gold, Sha'Carri Richardson chasing down her first Olympic gold medal, eyeing down her competition as Team USA claims victory in the relay. The disappointing finish in the men's relay after a fumble baton pass. Women's basketball cruising to their 8th straight gold medal match. I speak with the star players as women's basketball soars in popularity, both abroad and back at home. Plus, breaking's debut. For the first time in Olympics history, breakdancing takes the world stage. The new competition getting mixed reaction as some moves fall flat. Our Keir Simmons busting out his own set of moves. And it's our final night broadcasting from Paris. We'll show you the most memorable moments of this year's historic games. Top story starts right now. And good evening. Top story is live tonight from Paris, capping off another extraordinary day at the 2024 Olympics. Team USA increasing their medal count as star athletes race, hurdle, and wrestle their way to the podium. But first, we want to get to the severe storms pummeling the Northeast. More than 20 million on alert as the remnants from Tropical Storm Debby unleashed torrential rains and tornadoes. In northern Pennsylvania, catastrophic flooding wiping away structures and cars. People trapped in high waters as homes are inundated. A similar situation in upstate New York. Downpours overwhelming neighborhoods. First responders relying on neighboring towns to help rescue people. This new video just in, a tornado packing 95-mile-an-hour winds, tossing debris in the air just outside of Wilmington, Delaware. And significant damage in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania after a twister, look at that, ripped apart a wall from a building. The deadly storm making a slow march up the eastern seaboard, leaving a path of destruction across multiple states. Tonight, airport cancellations and delays are mounting. Airports in New York and Boston, you see them right here, the worst disruptions in the nation. Meteorologist Bill Cairns will have the latest track and timing, but first we start with NBC's Aaron McLaughlin in the storm zone tonight.
Tonight, Debby strikes the Northeast.
Oh, that shed is moving.
Water rising rapidly in upstate New York and northern Pennsylvania, swallowing communities and washing out roads.
This is how high the water on the bridge has gotten in the last 10 minutes.
Flash flooding emergencies have been declared.
This ain't good at all.
First responders are desperate for help from surrounding areas to assist with rescues by water and air. National Guard helicopters have been brought in to look for people on roofs.
The water is washing away their house. They're holding on to the trees, trying to keep from being swept away.
Maria Southard says she was there when floodwater took out a bridge, forcing her to turn around.
The water is all running right through the businesses again, and it's awful.
What were you feeling when you were seeing all this?
It's really heartbreaking.
In Maryland, coastal businesses underwater.
Water up to my knees.
And dangerous flash floods in South Carolina.
Tornado on the ground.
Tornadoes were reported across Virginia, Delaware, and North Carolina.
Oh my gosh, it looks like a war zone.
It's not like a freight train was driving through the woods.
NBC's George Solis is in Pennsylvania.
The roof of this church here in Harrisburg ripped right off by an apparent tornado. The relentless rains drenching everything in sight. The building will more than likely have to be condemned.
All of this impacting travel across the country as we head into one of the last weekends of the summer.
I got booted off 2 flights so far, and there's no one here to help us in person.
Aaron McLaughlin joins us tonight from LaGuardia in New York. Aaron, talk to us more about those travel delays and what can we expect this weekend?
Well, Tom, it's not looking good at many of the airports here in the United States. More than 8,000 flights either canceled or delayed nationwide. But the good news is, you know how Debbie was moving so slowly throughout the week? Well, she's finally picked up pace and is expected to be out of the Northeast region by the weekend. Tom.
Aaron McLaughlin leading us off tonight here on Top Story. For more on the inclement weather, I want to turn right over to NBC meteorologist Bill Cairns. Bill, it seems like Debbie was a storm that would never go away. We've been getting the heavy rains there and flooding in the Northeast. How long can we expect it all to last, and where is it heading next?
Yeah, when we all wake up tomorrow morning, it's done. It is over with. But we still have to get through the next couple hours. It overachieved today with incredible flooding, especially along the border of Pennsylvania and New York from the Binghamton area southwards. That's where some of the worst flooding, and that's going to take a long time to recover. A lot of structures even lost. Now we're watching flash flooding heading out of the Capital District, the Albany area, heading into the Berkshires and the southern portions of Vermont. We also have some of that heavy rain heading through New York. We haven't had a lot of tornadoes today, so that's great. The last couple days we got nailed. We still have a tornado watch up until about 10 o'clock this evening as this line of storms will be heading into areas of Massachusetts and also Connecticut. And Tom, we're heading towards the peak of hurricane season. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. We already have our eyes on the next system, which will be forming over the weekend or into the beginning of next week, and that development zone takes it through the Virgin Islands, possibly somewhere near Puerto Rico, Haiti, Dominican Republic. Our American computer model has it just south of Dominican Republic. The European model has it in 5 days from now just north of there. This just gives you a general idea. In the middle of next week, we're going to have to start paying very close attention to this. A lot of our friends to the south here are going to have to be dealing with a storm. We have a long ways to go with that one, but yes, there's something right behind Debbie.
All right, we'll stay watching that, Bill. We appreciate you all week. Now we're going to move to our other major headline tonight, the terrifying plane crash in Brazil. Have you seen this video? It shows the moment the plane plummeted from 17,000 feet in the sky after a severe ice warning. The president of Brazil addressing the nation on live television with the devastating news. This video is very hard to watch. There were no survivors on board the plane, aboard that plane. And NBC aviation correspondent Tom Costello has the details.
Horror and chaos in a neighborhood near Sao Paulo as Vopaz Flight 2283 came crashing to the ground. On board, 57 passengers and 4 crew members. Video seems to have captured the terrifying moments. The plane fell from the sky in a free fall, dropping fast. Eyewitnesses said they jumped over a wall to escape the falling wreckage. While no one on the ground was killed, Brazil's president appeared on TV with grim news, saying none of the 61 on board had survived. One passenger who wasn't allowed to board because he was late now says he's grateful to be alive. The plane, an ATR-72 turboprop, was flying from Cascavel to Sao Paulo when it ran into trouble. Flight Radar 24 data shows the plane's speed, in orange, becoming very erratic, from 250 miles per hour to 0, and the plane's altitude, in blue, dropping like a rock. Veteran crash investigators say it looks like a midair stall.
The fact that the airplane entered a spin tells me that the pilots were not in control of it. Is all of the airplane there? Did it lose part of a wing?
Flight Radar reports there was a severe ice warning for 12 to 21,000 feet at the time. The plane was at 17,000 feet when it ran into trouble. Brazilian investigators' priority, recovering the plane's black boxes, the flight data and cockpit voice recorders. The French-Italian makers of the plane say ATR specialists are fully engaged to support the investigation and the customer.
It's a workhorse airplane, and so it has a very good reputation as being a good, solid, well-proven airplane.
So investigators looking at those black boxes will focus on the cockpit voice recorder. The pilot's conversations may reveal a lot. The flight data recorder will detail the plane's mechanical and engine performance second by second. Did they run into severe icing? The airline says the plane departed with all of its systems approved to carry out the operation, their words, but maintenance history will also be a part of this investigation. Tom?
All right, Tom Costello for us. Tom, we thank you for that. For more on how a crash like this could have happened and what the recovery operation looks like, I want to bring in retired aircraft accident investigator Jeff Guzzetti. Jeff, thanks for joining Top Story tonight. From the video you have seen, is there any indication on how this could have happened?
Well, it's clear to me, Tom, that the airplane did aerodynamically stall. So we know what happened. We just need to find out why. And when I say aerodynamically stall, the wings stopped generating lift. There wasn't enough airspeed going over the wings, perhaps because the airplane got too slow, perhaps because there was a structural failure, perhaps it was icing. We just don't know. But once that wing stalled, it went into a spin and then just dropped precipitously, just like you saw there.
That video is so terrible when you see it. I mean, because it's sort of shocking. At that point, there is nothing the pilots can do to recover or to save that flight?
So I'm not sure about that. So if, in fact, they were in that regime all the way up from 17,000 feet, there may have been some flight control inputs or engine power inputs that could have been used to get out of that. Although when you're in a spin like that, it's difficult to get the air to get forward airspeed, to get the air over it. So that's one of the things that investigators will look at is, did the crew actually have an opportunity to recover from whatever the initial upset occurred?
Yeah, talk to our viewers about this plane. From the notes I have here, it's an ATR-72 turboprop. It can hold a max of 74 people. Is this a plane we see domestically in the United States?
Not too often. So I think FedEx uses a handful of them for cargo flights here in the United States. And there's a small regional operator that has, I think, 4 of them in South Florida. But other than that, they're not used in the United States. They've been pretty much replaced with regional jets, not turboprops. That said, it's an extremely popular airplane, regional transport around the world, in Europe and in the Americas. And ATR built about 1,250 of these airplanes, and they're continuing to build them, and they are a solid aircraft.
You know, there was reports of icing in the area up that high. When there is icing, what does it do to a plane or the plane's engines?
Well, so icing, if it accretes on the wings or the propeller, it can decrease the aerodynamic performance of the airplane. So you could aerodynamically stall the airplane because it doesn't take a whole lot of rough edges over that smooth airfoil to cause the air to separate and the wing to lose lift. So icing is a very dangerous thing. However, in airplanes like this that have de-ice systems, and in fact, this airplane, which did have a reputation of being squirrely in ice, was under an intense investigation back in the 90s, and the changes to the airframe were made. They extended the range for the anti-ice system, and they had new pilot procedures. Regardless, engine or ice on engines, propellers, and wings can be hazardous. Whether it was a factor in this accident, we just don't know yet.
Yeah, Jeff, you know, on that point, because you opened the door there, I know my producers told me that this type of aircraft did have a crash, I believe, in the U.S. in 94 in Indiana. The cause was determined to be because of icing. Can we draw a straight line, or that was so long ago? These are essentially 2 different types of planes.
I'd be cautious about drawing a straight line. It is the exact same airframe, except since that accident and the intense investigation that followed, ATR did extend the de-ice and anti-ice capability of their aircraft. And they also had new training procedures and a number of other things. And that problem in icing went away for that aircraft. Now, could it have come back for some unknown reason or with a different type of maintenance issue or crew training? We don't know. But I'm sure that's something that the investigation will look at.
Aviation expert Jeff Guzzetti. Jeff, really insightful conversation. We thank you for that. Next tonight, to the race for the White House, former President Trump under scrutiny for telling a story about a near-death experience on a helicopter in his news conference yesterday. That account now being disputed. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez spoke to one of the key players.
During an at times meandering press conference Thursday, amid a flurry of falsehoods.
Nobody was killed on January 6th.
A remarkable story from Donald Trump about a near-death experience. It's under new scrutiny tonight. The former president referring to former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown, who dated Vice President Kamala Harris in the 90s.
Well, I know Willie Brown very well. In fact, I went down in a helicopter with him. We thought maybe this is the end. There was an emergency landing. This was not a pleasant landing. And Willie was, he was a little concerned. but he told me terrible things about her.
We spoke with Willie Brown by phone today.
To be clear, you have never been on a helicopter with Donald Trump?
No, I have not. Are you kidding me?
Have you ever had any conversation with Donald Trump about Kamala Harris?
Of course not.
His initial reaction to Trump's comments?
I laughed. I just assumed that he was on a helicopter ride with somebody black and he made a mistake and thought it was me.
It appears Trump may have confused Willie Brown with former California Governor Jerry Brown, whose spokesperson says did ride in a helicopter with Trump during wildfires in 2018, but adds there was no emergency landing and no discussion of Kamala Harris. Also in that helicopter, then Governor-elect Gavin Newsom. His spokesperson also says there was no emergency landing. Today, the Trump campaign was asked about the pushback to the former president's claim.
I would just defer you to President Trump's statement and what he said yesterday. The president has a lot of amazing stories from his life.
All right, with that, Gabe Gutierrez joins us tonight from Washington. And Gabe, we know that former President Trump was on his way to Montana tonight when his plane was diverted.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. We've just learned that the former president's plane was briefly diverted due to a mechanical issue, but it did land safely. And tonight he's campaigning in Montana for a Senate candidate there, as well as fundraising, Tom.
All right, let's turn to Democrats. I know you have some new reporting out tonight from the Harris-Walz campaign. Governor Walz from Minnesota was getting some flack about comments he made about being in war. And tonight we know there's a clarification. Walk our viewers through what's happened.
Yeah, Tom, earlier this week, Walz took heat from Republicans, led by J.D. Vance, for a video clip that showed him discussing gun control and referring to his own military background. Now, he, of course, served for 24 years in the Army National Guard. And in the clip, Walz said that he carried weapons of war. Well, today, the Harris campaign says Walz misspoke and that he would never insult or undermine any American service to this country. Walz did train soldiers on how to handle weapons, but he never was deployed to a combat zone, Tom.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez with that clarification from the Harris-Walz campaign tonight. Gabe, thank you for that. Now to our special coverage of the 2024 Olympics here in Paris. Team USA holding on to that lead in the overall medal count, but China tying the U.S. today in the gold medal column. Both nations with 33, but for the Americans, those medals came in every color today. Team USA topping the podium in the women's 4x100-meter relay. Sha'Carri Richardson and company roaring to a first-place finish, her first Olympic gold. Rai Benjamin grabbing the gold in the men's 400-meter hurdles after missing out on the top spot in Tokyo by 23/10 of a second. And the first gold for Team USA in women's weightlifting in 24 years. Olivia Reeves muscling out a win in the 71-kilogram event. Team USA also picking up 4 medals on the mat today. Wrestler Spencer Lee securing a silver medal in the men's freestyle 57-kilogram division. Freestyle wrestler Aaron Brooks, along with Taekwondo competitor Christina Teachout, also taking home bronze medals in their events. And in team sports, the men's volleyball team downing Italy in straight sets for the bronze, their first medal in 8 years. And the U.S. women's basketball team dominating Australia for a spot in the gold medal game, cruising to a 21-point victory. I had a chance to talk with guard and first-time Olympian Sabrina Ionescu about what an 8th straight gold would mean for the women of Team USA. Here's what she told me. 8 straight gold medals, that's got to be incredible.
Yeah, that's the goal, obviously, understanding what it is we're trying to accomplish and continuing to just get better every game, but the job's not finished. We have one more game to win.
And they'll have one more game, that is correct, in a bit. But first, for more on Team USA's victory today and the gold medal matches tomorrow, I'm joined by my friend Stephanie Goss, who's been covering the games here, part of our NBC News team. So, Stephanie, I want to start with the golds on track today, right? Because it was a tale of 2 different teams. Let's start with the women's and that beautiful run.
Yeah, really incredible. The 4x100-meter relay, as you said, 2 races. For the women, really good news. Sha'Carri Richardson, Gabby Thomas, so fast today, seamless with their baton passes, and then getting that gold medal. Then the men came up. Now, keep in mind, Noah Lyles is not part of that team because he announced he had COVID and couldn't do the race. They mixed up the order of how they were racing, and they just couldn't get their baton passes to work, and it slowed them down. The first and the second one slowed them down considerably, and then they were disqualified for that second pass.
Terrible. I know. Yeah. We were all like, oh, when they lost, but because that team has so many fast runners on it. I do want to ask you about Rai Benjamin. We talked about it briefly in that intro there. Finally
finally getting his gold.
I mean, you were in Tokyo. You saw that moment. They both broke the world record, but he just narrowly missed getting that gold. This was a kind of redemption story for him. There have been so many stories here in Paris of redemption. It was great to see him win that medal today.
And then tomorrow we're talking about women's soccer, right? I think, like, so many people in the Olympics are excited about this game. So many fans here. It's going to be a huge game. What are you looking for?
Look, you have an incredibly impressive attack team for this soccer. This is a young team. They're a new team. We didn't know what to expect. You know, there had been a lot of success with some of the veterans who had left. This is a younger team. They have this incredible triumvirate attack team. They've scored a ton of goals. They're a lot of fun to watch, but Brazil is really strong, and it is going to be a tough game.
Yeah, no, that team is so fun to watch. They're young. They have a new coach. I don't know. They have a lot of things going for them, so I hope they pull off a win. And finally, this is France, and basketball has exploded in this country, and this weekend it's going to be one of the biggest days in basketball ever for this country.
Absolutely, because you now have the finals are set. The women, it's the USA versus France. The men, it is the USA versus France. The women play on Saturday, the men play on Saturday, the women play on Sunday. It is going to be all basketball, all excitement all the time here in Paris. And you can already feel the energy building.
Oh, yeah, you can. All right, Stephanie Goss, we thank you for that. Talking about basketball, as we mentioned, USA women's basketball easily beating Australia in the semifinals. The team of WNBA superstars set to play for their 8th gold medal in a row this week. And we had a chance to talk to some of the team star players, including Brittany Griner, grateful for the chance to represent the USA and bring home gold for the country that brought her home from Russia.
Copper in transition, nobody stopping her.
Tonight, USA women's basketball proving once again they are untouchable.
Young, head up. Oh, takes it coast to coast.
Coming out strong in the semifinal against Australia and never looking back.
And the quest for 8 straight goals, very much alive and well in Paris.
Forward Breanna Stewart leading the way with 16 points.
Stewie in transition, on a mission.
Extending the U.S. win streak to an unmatched 60 straight games. Guard Jackie Young, who worked her way into the starting lineup in the knockout stage, dropping 14 points and anchoring an impenetrable defense.
How's the team clicking?
Yeah, we're just kind of building that chemistry, with each game that we play. Being able to just be locked in on the defensive end and taking pride in our defense is a huge key for us.
At this historic game supporting Team USA, NBA royalty sitting courtside right there, including the late Kobe Bryant's wife, Vanessa Bryant, and their children, Carmelo Anthony, and men's team members, Kevin Durant and Bam Adebayo.
When you look at women's basketball, especially in the States, do you think this is like sort of the pinnacle? It's been exploding?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the fans in attendance here as well. But understanding what we've been able to do for the last couple years, continuing to see the game grow and wanting to be a part of that and continue to push the game forward.
It was the U.S. who was dominant start to finish tonight.
The eyes of the world will be on Team USA as they battle France for gold on Sunday. At a time when excitement about women's basketball is skyrocketing, LaChina Robinson was on the call for NBC Sports tonight. Women's basketball in this country, it's on fire. People are watching it. The ratings are higher. How does this team fit into that?
Well, these are the women that are making it happen. They're the headliners. They're the ones that are carrying this mission for the WNBA and for women's basketball, and it's beautiful to see.
How's the team looking going into this gold medal match?
Boy, looking stronger. It's been a process and a journey for a team that didn't have a lot of runway coming in, but what we're seeing is the United States really starting to gel on the defensive end. They're limiting team with their athleticism, with their activity, getting tips and deflections, and that's getting them out and running on the offensive end.
One player just grateful for the chance to play it all, star center Brittany Griner, who was wrongfully detained in Russia 2 years ago, now a symbol of freedom around the world.
For you personally, with everything you've been through, to be here on an international stage, what does it feel like deep inside?
Emotional. I didn't think I would be here at all. And to be able to play for my country in a gold game, when my country fought so hard to get me back, it means everything to me and my family.
Brittany Griner, we are going to be rooting her and the rest of Team USA on as they take on France, along with the men's team as well, also playing France this weekend. We're going to have much more of the Olympics later in the show, including highlights and lowlights from the first breakdancing competition. And still ahead tonight, rapper Travis Scott arrested here in Paris after getting into a fight with a member of his own security team. What we're learning about that altercation. Plus, new video showing the moments the officer who fatally shot Sonya Massey was arrested. What other officers can be heard saying about trying to keep his name off the jail's website. And a groundbreaking treatment approved for several allergic reactions, the nasal spray that could potentially save lives without requiring a needle. Top story just getting started from Paris on this Friday night. Stay with us. And here's a live look at sunny Los Angeles, California, because that city is up next to host the Summer Games in 2028. And it's also where Liz Kreutz joins us tonight with today's other headlines. Liz, good evening.
Hey, Tom, good to see you. Yeah, we have a lot to get to tonight. We're going to start with our news feed and another headline from Paris where rapper Travis Scott was arrested. The prosecutor's office saying Scott assaulted a security guard at a luxury hotel. The victim allegedly intervened in a fight between the rapper and his own security detail. Scott's representatives saying the fight broke out after Scott was chased by paparazzi for days with, quote, no help given. Now a dramatic rescue from a burning home about 40 miles outside of Manhattan. Look at this. Body camera footage shows officers racing towards the flames and tearing down a fence before getting a ladder to help trapped residents climb to safety. At least 6 people, including a child, made it out without serious injuries. Just amazing. Officials saying the fire there was started by a live wire. Now, the Food and Drug Administration, they are approving the first needle-free treatment for fatal allergic reactions. A nasal spray sold under the brand name Neffy is approved to treat anaphylaxis in adults and children weighing over 66 pounds. This is an alternative to injectors like an EpiPen. The FDA saying the spray will reduce barriers to treatment for people that have a fear of injections. And all right, guys, watch out. Thousands of tarantulas are emerging across 3 states for mating season. Yeah, that's right, tarantulas. Male brown tarantulas in Colorado, Kansas, and New Mexico might soon be wandering across a hiking trail near you. Their mating season takes place annually from late August through October, during which females lay between 500 to 1,000 eggs. The National Park Service says if you see a tarantula, just leave it be. They won't bite. They won't bite you unless seriously provoked. And all right, now we're going to get to top stories Global Watch and the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. The U.S. releasing a joint statement tonight with Egypt and Qatar saying it's time to finalize a ceasefire deal. This comes as Israel is bracing for a counterattack from Hezbollah and Iran after a series of high-profile Hamas and Hezbollah officials have been killed. Ellison Barber is in Haifa, Israel tonight with the latest. Ellison, what more can you tell us?
Hey, Liz, so this joint statement from the United States, Egypt, and Qatar, it doesn't mean there is definitely going to be some sort of agreement for a ceasefire and or hostage exchange between Israel and Hamas. But we do have these 3 mediators coming together and saying, hey, we really feel like it has been long enough. We have the framework agreement of a deal that even the UN Security Council approved at the end of May. It's time to finish this and get some of the last implementation details in effect. And they go on to say, and if it is necessary, we, the mediators, are ready to put forward what they are describing as a bridging proposal, taking into account what Hamas has said they want, what Israel has said they want, and put it on the table. One expert in this area, a former Israeli hostage negotiator, told us he thinks that basically means they'll put it on the table and say, look, take this or leave this, but we're done talking. Now, what we don't know is what the consequences would be if either side decided to leave it. What we know right now is Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, have said they will send negotiators to either Doha or Cairo to meet on Thursday, August 15th. We have not yet gotten a response from Hamas, but it could take a little while because the head of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, is known to be inside of Gaza, presumably in the labyrinth of tunnels in the enclave, and communicating with him between other leadership. It can take a couple of days. We haven't heard from them just yet, but that also doesn't necessarily mean it's a no. So that is still happening. There were a lot of gaps in where things were with the sides in negotiations before. There had been a proposal that Biden had talked about at the White House, saying that they wanted ultimately at some point in this agreement there to be a full and permanent ceasefire. Netanyahu later came out saying that a non-negotiable for him was needing to have the ability for Israeli military to continue their war objectives after some sort of hostage exchange, essentially saying he wanted a temporary truce, not a permanent ceasefire. Hamas, the United States, others involved want a permanent ceasefire. All of this is happening as the fighting continues in Gaza, and Israel waits to see what sort of response could possibly be coming from both Iran and Hezbollah. Right now, based on what we have heard from the leaders of Hezbollah, it seems like a strike from Hezbollah in Lebanon, one of Iran's proxies, could come sooner than a strike from Iran. Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, has said that part of this waiting game right now is a psychological punishment. Those are his words for Israelis, and what they say was the Israeli assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh inside of Iran. But today, a little bit of progress, some glimmers of hope perhaps along the edges of negotiations, that three mediators, key players in all of this, have come together and said, hey, now is the time. We want to see a ceasefire. Let's meet next week on August 15th. Liz.
All right, Ellison Barber, we'll see what happens. Ellison reporting from Israel. Thank you. Back here at home, we are turning now to some breaking news in the police shooting death of Sonya Massey in Illinois. The Sangamon County Sheriff retiring as he faced mounting pressure to resign over the shooting. Maura Barrett has the late-breaking details and new video from the arrest of the deputy who fired that fatal shot.
Newly released surveillance video shedding more light on the arrest of former Sangamon County Deputy Sean Grayson tonight.
All right, Sean, these guys will take care of you.
In the video from the jail where he was booked, deputies discuss how to temporarily keep Grayson's name off of the county jail's website.
You can put him on temp hold. Yeah, we'll show. We'll get you through it.
Nearly 30 minutes of audio was redacted from the video, the sheriff's office citing privacy exemptions. Grayson himself telling deputies he was in jail custody for, quote, his own safety.
Well, this whole new safety act. That's why hopefully I'll be out tomorrow.
The Safety Act, an Illinois law enacted in the last year, eliminates cash bail and allows a defendant like Grayson to argue pretrial release, which was denied in court today. Grayson, held since July 17th, is charged with first-degree murder and official misconduct over the death of Sonya Massey. In his field report, where Grayson logged his perspective of the encounter, he wrote he fired his gun because he feared for his life in Massey's home.
I'm not taking hot boiling water to face.
Amid mounting pressure to resign, including from Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, the Sangamon County Sheriff announcing his retirement, writing in a statement, "The current political climate has made it nearly impossible for me to continue effectively in my role." Now, I spoke with some of Sonya Massey's family members who were in court today. They were relieved to hear that Grayson will remain in custody, some of them applauding in the court gallery as the denial was determined. And as for the sheriff's retirement, they welcomed that as well, as they were looking for him to be held accountable. Now, as for Grayson, his attorneys have the option to file an appeal, but that'll take several weeks. The next time we expect to see him in court is at the end of August. Liz?
All right, Maura Barrett, thank you. When we come back, Tom returns with more from Paris.
And that was the Japanese breaker Ami busting a move to win the first ever Olympic gold medal for women's breaking. Breaking, otherwise known as breakdancing, made its debut here in Paris as an Olympic event. So was it a success? We're bringing in Keir Simmons, our breakdancing expert, to talk to us about it. Keir, it's sort of interesting. Breakdancing was invented in the United States, in New York, and yet the two Americans who we've profiled here in Top Story didn't make it into the medal round. What happened?
That's right, Tom. You know, there are so many things you can say about what happened today with breaking and what happened tonight, but one of them has to be that Sonny Choi, the American who was really favourite to medal, didn't even make it into the finals. Now, you know, you're talking about breaking. You're talking about hip-hop culture. Started on the streets of New York. It is as American as anything, surely. And yet what you had today here in Paris was a breaking final where Japan, Lithuania and China medaled. Isn't that extraordinary?
Yeah, it speaks to how big breakdancing is all around the world.
It really does.
And how big of an international sport apparently it's become.
Yeah.
I know you were there with your family, which is really cool. You got to go to the medal round with your family and your beautiful twin girls and your wife.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the experience. And for our viewers at home that didn't watch, how does it work?
Well, you know, you say it speaks to how breaking has spread around the world. I think it also speaks to something that Americans don't necessarily fully comprehend sometimes, and that is the influence of American culture around the world. It's one of the great strengths of America, my kids included. So I took my 11-year-old daughters to this final. You know, Tom, if I had imagined when I was a teenager listening to, to Grandmaster Melly Mel and watching breakdancing the movie and trying to do some of those moves myself, that now in Paris I would be taking my kids, I wouldn't really have believed it. I'm not sure I would have even imagined that, honestly. How it works, they say it's judged very carefully. It's actually honestly hard to fully understand. There's a knockout round and then the finals. They battle with each other and they're given points, and then whoever gets the most points, creativity.
And they were surprised by the music, right? They didn't know which song was going to be played, so they had to come up with a routine on
I mean, they know it's going to be hip hop, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they know it's going to be breakbeats, but they don't know, exactly what it is they're going to get, and so they have to kind of develop.
Yeah.
Another point too, by the way, they can't use the same moves. So the question about
that's really hard,
right? So the question about Sonya Choi might be, did she hold back some things, thinking she'd be in the final and not quite make it into the final? We'll find out.
It's crazy. We have dancing analysis. Social media exploded.
You never knew that.
Yeah,
I never
the
English guy, right?
Social media exploded because there were a couple dancers there. It wasn't clear exactly, what they were doing, how good of breakdancers they were, even though they were in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I know you know what it's like to go to maybe a nightclub and start dancing. Everyone's just like, what are they doing? It can hurt.
That's my Saturday night experience.
So
every Saturday.
We're not going to make fun of anyone here, but what exactly did happen?
No, sure, but I think it is. Look, there is a lot going on social media about particularly the Australian who took part. Listen, the Olympics.
She was a teacher,
right?
And what was it? She just didn't have the moves.
She's in her 30s, so she's a lot older than the other competitors. Listen, one of the great things about the Olympics is it's open to athletes to take an opportunity, to take a chance, even if they're not going to win a medal. But I think it is going to be talked about because it does raise the question. It's got to be a question, hasn't it? Does breakdancing have a place at the Olympics? And when you watch that Australian performance, you really do ask yourself. It wasn't. I mentioned, breakdancing the movie from what we're talking about, the 1980s.
Yeah.
I mean, the moves are better on that movie than they were for the Australian athletes today. So yeah, they're definitely going to be.
The final round was cool, though, right? The final round was cool.
Listen, the atmosphere was amazing.
Yeah.
It was exciting. It was really hip hop. It was, my kids loved it, and the Olympics, the IOC, the Olympics organizers are trying to attract a younger crowd. That's one of the things you have to do with the Olympics. Bring in the younger crowd. And that's right, exactly. So
here we're gonna
see.
we're gonna have more about breakdancing. You and I have a great conversation. We're gonna have that later in the broadcast. Before we go, though, can you give us just a quick pop and lock? Is there a little robot?
Nobody pulled the worm, which I know is one of your favorite breakdance moves too. I was disappointed.
No pop and lock. We can't get one move here. No?
I'm not.
It's in the past.
Oh, you want to see it? You
want to
see it?
Yeah. What do
you want to do? Oh
my God! All right.
Did that just happen? Did that just happen? That's my career is over.
We're going to put that on a loop. We thank you for doing that. All right, coming up on this special edition of Top Story, no more dancing, we promise. Paris is known for its world-famous chocolate. We send 3 young reporters on a taste test. We'll show you how much they liked it. That's next. We are back now in Paris, a city not only known for its iconic landmarks, but its culture, croissants, and chocolate. We sent Team Llamas to get a first-hand look. NBC News correspondent Sonya Massey led that team. Here she is. Sonya, take it away.
We're at the Olympics, and Paris runs on chocolate. Let's go check it out. Chocolate is a big deal in Paris.
Milk chocolate, white chocolate, and dark chocolate.
I grabbed my sister and brother for one sweet assignment. It's really good. Inside this popular shop in Paris, chocolate is everywhere. So what do you think Paris is most known for? Chocolate, croissants, or cheese?
I mean, it's a global combo, right?
Yeah.
One doesn't go without the other. We put cheese on bread, and we like our croissant with chocolate, our pain au chocolat. so everything goes well together. But what we're known for is most definitely chocolate.
What do you think is most famous? Dark chocolate, milk chocolate, or white chocolate?
I would say either dark or milk. And in terms of what is most famous, I would say the dark really shows all of its flavor profiles the best.
What's your secret?
Our secret is in all the passion from our chocolate makers. So we have a workshop just outside of Paris, and all of our chocolatiers are passionate about what they do. You can go ahead and try it.
This one looks so pretty. We got to sample some really unique chocolates.
It's really good. This one is with hazelnuts.
I tried one that's made with mango and basil. I can taste the basil in it.
Yeah, you can taste the basil. Do you taste the mango?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the basil's just really strong though.
Yeah, it's true. And the mango really brings that sweet taste to it, right? It's a good way to, instead of putting more sugar, then you'll have a sweet fruit like mango, which kind of adds to the sweetness of the chocolate.
After our taste test, we headed downstairs to the workshop where we found lots of sweet surprises. Oh my goodness.
We built this house with chocolate.
Wow.
This is a big house of chocolate.
Is that the biggest house you've ever made?
Yeah, that's the biggest I did. Would you be able to eat the whole house?
No.
No, never.
I would.
You, yeah. You like hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Who wants to try?
We also tried some really amazing hot chocolate.
You gonna do it by yourself?
Yeah.
Stop.
It's really good. And we ended our tour by making our very own Paris-themed treats.
We are going to do some chocolate Doritos. What do we have here? It's melted chocolate. Whoa, 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 there is a lot, there is a lot. There is too much chocolate. How are we gonna do? One hand on top. We lost it. Good? Oh, there is chocolate everywhere. Very good, Juju. Good job. And then we're going to put it in the fridge. I heard something. I think the Eiffel Tower are ready.
What?
We already spent 3 hours together. It's a lot.
What?
We have 3 amazing Eiffel Tower. And someone asked me before if we can have gold Eiffel Tower. And now we have the real Eiffel Tower.
And a big thank you to Milena for that wonderful report. Juju as well. And Tomas, that is way too much chocolate. Now I know why you couldn't go to bed. It's been a fun-filled 2 weeks here in Paris. And when we come back, we're going to have so much more from Paris. We're taking a look at some of our favorite highlights from the Olympic Games as Top Story gets ready to sign off from the City of Light. Stay with us.
25 meters left for Ledecky to make more history. And the greatest swimming machine we've ever seen rolls on to another gold here in Paris with a new Olympic record.
And that was, of course, Katie Ledecky earning her 12th overall medal in the 1,500-meter freestyle, making her the most decorated American female Olympian of all time. It was just one of the many moments that made these Olympic Games so special as the Summer Games come to a close. We want to take a look at some of the interviews, events, and people that made Top Story's Olympic run one we'll never forget.
It's been an unforgettable 2 weeks here in Paris.
We're live from Paris as the history-making 2024 Olympic Games gets underway.
Top Story touching down in the City of Light as it geared up for an opening ceremony, unlike anything we've seen before.
There are so many people, streets are actually being blocked along with intersections.
As the games kicked off,
They get the bronze. They did it.
we watched the U.S. men's gymnastics team win their first medal in 16 years.
Pommel horse, was that you? Went up there, did my job, and as soon as I landed, I was like, I think we might have just medaled, baby.
Then we were right there when Katie Ledecky brought home gold in the 1,500-meter freestyle.
Look and listen to this arena. They are going wild for one of the greatest ever, Katie Ledecky. She came to Paris chasing history. Tonight, no one can catch her. Why was this one so special?
I just wanted to swim a time that I would be really happy with, and that was.
And we got to witness the nail-biting finish in the men's 100 meter.
Noah Lyles extended his torso over the finish line, but it was this device right here that confirmed he was the fastest man in the world.
So, do you feel like the fastest man in the world?
I was always the fastest man in the world. Now I just got the medals to prove it.
We sat down with the so-called Golden Girls, Suni Lee and Jordan Childs, and also met former Olympians. 90s Olympic superstar Shannon Miller joining us just hours after Simone Biles broke her long-standing 7 Olympic medal record.
Records are meant to be broken. How are you feeling?
I am so happy. My heart is so full.
And maybe one of our most memorable interviews.
Hey, Flav, you need a ride?
What's up, my man? Sure I do.
Flavor Flav, as he took on the role of hype man for the U.S. women's water polo team.
How is your Olympic experience going?
Me being over here right now at the Olympics, I mean, this is like a dream to me come true.
We introduced you to this year's new sport, breaking. Getting access inside the DJ booth, spinning at the venue.
There's going to be a DJ booth, there's a circular stage, and breakdancers from all over the world.
And even learned our own Keir Simmons used to breakdance himself.
I tried something with a caterpillar where you kind of go like that and managed to land on my chin. I didn't realize I didn't still have the strength in my arms or indeed the lighter weight in my body. It didn't go well, and I haven't tried it since then.
I think breakdancing is a young man's game, and we probably shouldn't be doing it anymore.
We visited some of the iconic Paris sites turned into competition zones, like the beach volleyball court under the Eiffel Tower and the Seine.
In the triathlon, pollution nearly led to the swimming portion being called off. But today, organizers felt it was safe enough to jump in. Athletes say the toughest part was the current.
One of the best parts of our coverage,
these are just ones to trade.
Meeting the fans who make the Olympics so great, including Ron Isbell, who's been to 13 Olympics and was going to 40 events in Paris, but made time to join us.
What's been your favorite moment so far in Paris?
Probably just watching the beach volleyball in that venue next to the Eiffel Tower.
The Paris Games promised to wow us, and they did.
Talk to me about the flag draped around your shoulders. You have a silver medal. I mean, what does that feel like?
I'm pretty lost for words right now. I'm just over the moon.
We're leaving here having witnessed history, and now we have our sights set on Los Angeles 2028.
Thanks so much for watching Top Story tonight and all week. Also, a big thank you to the Top Story staff and all of our staff from NBC News here in Paris who built this beautiful set overlooking the City of Light. So on our last show here in Paris, we leave you with one of the stars of the Games, the Olympic Flying Cauldron. Many gather at dusk to watch its beauty as it takes off and lights up the night sky.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.